To me about this cow over here, your heart, you know, the pluses and the minuses. So walk over to it.
You got it.
You're on video.
Cow, my favorite part is the unnecessary part of the storyline. The man, the woman, the child, and the frog really tell the story of Frogtown and the families. But the cow was a part of the family. There was a cow in every backyard, and dairies were a big part of the history of this area. Oak Street used to be called Milk Street, and the sewing treadle base is so significant to the industry, with there being 3 mills inside this neighborhood boundary. That was woman after woman after woman who was the locale who was living around here. That was her industry, and that's why this woman needs those big, thick chains.
Let's go over to the woman.
She was, did you get the head on the cow?
Oh, yeah.
Ear-like head is
oh, yeah.
what I really like. And the domestic, that says domestic on the...
I don't see that.
On the treadle base front and back. There's domestic. And funny that you chose the back, because one of my favorite parts is the part that says gas.
I get that.
Couldn't resist.
So over here is the woman.
And she needs to be linked to the man with a chain, because she was the link. She was a working force in this community. She drove the industry in the community, woman after woman, on those treadle bases in this very building, the whole length of the block, and several rows of them working, building the linens. So she and her cow, they're a team, and she has so much milk symbology, mother's milk, and so again, the cow seems so appropriate that I'm going to stretch the assignments and include yet another sculpture, scope creep.
And so you're thinking that there's going to be a chain linking between the man and the woman?
Her arms.
So where's the man, and what's he all about?
It links to this man who right now is in pre-assembly form. He's going to switch out his chest, which is a little oversized right now, for a tool chest, which I feel much more appropriate about. But he's got the jacks for the legs and the pipes for the calves, and his arms will be made out of his tools that he worked with. He was a working man. He's got a metal helmet, back when they really made a helmet. And you might even go in on his face. He's got that handlebar mustache. And he'll be greeting. He'll have his hands up and in a perpetual wave, greeting the passerbys who are heading out in Kentucky. And then in the background will be the frog. And the toes on the frog just really make it for me. And the stove front was the first donation that we got, and for Frogtown, it just is a necessary inclusion. And on his tongue is a little stand-in. We're going to make a metal mosquito to represent the swampy area, and there's cattails that will nearly trip you if you're not careful.
Right here.
All the plant life will be tucked around the frog, help work up against the raised garden beds. And it'll all sit in the bend of Beargrass Creek that's no longer there, but when they removed that bend, the sluggishness of the creek moved more freely, which allowed the land to be settled more freely, and so it was indicative of the development of the area.
And what's going to happen to all this extra metal here?
If I have help from these welders and they have a use for it, I'm glad to turn it over to them, and several people have spoken for several of the pieces, and whatever's left over I will take to the recycling and reclaim it.
So time is coming short, so one has to get started quickly. Well, what's the time schedule you thinking you have?
Well, the clock is spinning around. I hear that prep work is quite a time-consuming task, so I don't want to undersell it, but we're jumping right on it. I've got several welders working with me, giving advice, and there's a man who's helping me with the concrete aspects, and so it's time to schedule everybody and get all the ducks lined up in a row. My intention is to have it installed by Halloween and dedicated on November 6th. The dedication ceremony at 11 a.m. Don't miss it.
I'm not artistic. I can't imagine how this is all going to work, but you can. So thanks for all your work.
Thank you.